Well, fuck me, I think you're right.
Well, serendipity fucking dude out of you too, you bitch.
Oi, how about you, fucking not? Woo!
What's up, motherfucker? Screw that guy. I hope his whole family dies from dysentery next time he logs into the Oregon Trail.
You fucking what?
Seriously? No fucking way, dude. Get the fuck out.
The world is not ready, my dude.
Hi, I'm Splicehaven, co-host of the Buttery Fresh. Although we have decided to stream this live for your viewing pleasure, our focus is really on the auditory experience. Therefore, when new people come into the chat, we want you to say hello. We want to know that you're there. However, don't expect a whole lot of hootenanny. Instead, look for the high sign. Secondly, if you would decide to follow our channel for the first time, welcome, and thank you for being here. This is the sign you can look for to acknowledge how much we appreciate you. And lastly, if you decide to donate, give us some biddies, or subscribe to the channel, this will be the way of us showing our appreciation. Thank you. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Buttery Fresh.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the Buttery Fresh episode 3. I am joined today with my co-host Splice over there, up there. Sorry, Evo over
Hello.
there. And we've got a guest appearance by our buddy Mike. My name is Martin, aka Wookie. Today you guys can call me Doris, the 60-year pack-a-day smoker, because I'm a little bit under the weather. We've got some good stuff to talk about.
I'm a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, a little bit under the weather.
It's okay, little buddy.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I did my job. I'm out.
Okay,
you're doing great, buddy.
For everybody that's listening, we do record this live every Tuesday night at 7:30 at twitch.tv/thebutteryfresh. If you would like to come in and join and see our ugly faces, talk to us live, join in the conversation, ask us questions, or, just watch us give you the high sign, come on down anytime. We'd love to see y'all here. And, yeah, I love you. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. Thank you for saving me there. I was about to start hacking up a lung.
It's a team effort. It's a fucking team effort.
Team effort, baby. I'm doing pretty well. Stood in the sun outside for a little bit for the first time in about 2.5 months, and I think I caught a little bit of sunburn. It's nice California weather. Feels great. But
Sounds like California weather's about like that Georgia weather right now. Trash.
Hey, man. Something, dude. Something. But yeah, other than that, I am doing great. Yeah, good to be back for our third official episode, man. This is a good stepping stone here for sure. It's like I just got an Xbox achievement. It's like, yo, third episode
Awesomeness
airing, and I'm like, yo, sweet, dude.
Get a sword and a badass logo. I'm good, man. I am good, dude. I'm tired of this damn rain. I'm absolutely tired of the rain. If I could just get some beautiful weather for at least just a couple days, just give me a couple days, make me feel like some kind of warm weather's coming, I'd be super happy. But otherwise, man, we are just grinding, staying busy. So good.
Didn't you tell me that you saw somewhere that as of right now, the Atlanta area has gotten more rain this year than Seattle?
Absolutely, dude. We were actually talking about it at work, and somebody said it. So then today, I mentioned that exact comment to somebody else, and I heard that we have gotten 1/3 of our annual rainfall and this like spell that we've had going on, dude. It's absolutely retarded.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's
So you're not missing a whole lot, Evo, being out there. I mean, but at least there's some hot women, some hot sun here and there, way more than Georgia right now.
yeah.
Truth.
Man, you guys enjoy your sun. You guys enjoy everything like that. It was like 55 degrees here over the weekend, and both myself and Naya were super sick in bed, just like lounging around. Today I went back to the office, and it was like 35 degrees outside.
Fuck
That's
that.
well, that's about the way it's been here, man. 30 degrees in the morning, 60 in the afternoon. So it's like your body doesn't know what to do. You end up sick as hell. And then on top of it all, you're like, oh, I go to work and it's pouring rain.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I just received a phone call like literally right before this started, and even these guys don't know what was going on, but essentially, and for I guess kind of cover my own ass reasons, I'm not going to go too far in detail, but essentially there's some contractors doing work below our apartment and right next door as well. These guys are not doing things in the most legal of ways, to put it as accurately as possible. They're doing structural work and piping and electrical work, and they don't have a building permit.
No permits.
Yes, what?
Sir.
But
no.
here's how I ended up finding out about all of this. And so Naya, she works from home full time, and they excuse me, they've been doing crazy work downstairs, and I mean they're like doing so much demo to the point that it genuinely feels like the floor below our apartment is going to collapse. Like that's how much, like the entire thing is shaking, like to the point that if we had stuff on like the corners, it would fall off of like a shelf, and then it's an old building, like the building's been here since the like 40s or 50s. And so, there's little cracks between the floor and the baseboard, which, that's bound to happen. Like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of construction dust coming in. And so, like, essentially around, like, a good portion of the perimeter of our apartment, then there was, like, a foot-long, like, cloud of dust, like, just covered up on the floor.
Oof.
To the point where, like, you could literally, like, drag your finger across it, and it was night and day. Like, our floors are pretty dark, so, like, white construction dust below it,
like you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, and so I called my property management company. I was like, "Yo, like you guys could have at least given us a heads up." Oh, and they shut our water off without like a proper 24-hour notice. They gave us like 12 hours, which is fine, but still, give
How
us a
long
little
was it
bit
off for though?
Throughout the day. But our bathroom barely had enough water pressure. Like if you wanted to fill up a cup of water in the sink, you'd be standing there for a minute. If you like, I tried to take a shower,
dude.
Yeah,
wow.
Imagine trying to like shower in that, dude. Like, there's no fucking way.
No, dude. That's where I'm going. I tried to take a shower, and it was the saddest shower I've ever taken in my life. Like, I was literally, we've got one of the detachable shower heads, for her pleasure. And so I'm standing there with the shower head, like, I'm standing there with the shower head, like trying to, get myself a little wet. And like, I mean, it was miserable. I didn't even wash my hair. I like barely washed my body. Like it was awful. And so I called a maintenance guy. I was like, hey, can you, have him either take a look at the water pressure valve, like make sure it was turned all the way. Can you guys, just make sure that like everything that's going on here is how it's supposed to be, 'cause this is fucked. And so like our maintenance guy knows us. Like he knows that we're not difficult like tenants. Like we pay our bills on time, we're quiet,
Yeah, of course.
we keep the place clean, like we don't trash it. Like the place looks exactly the same as the day we moved out. Or I'm sorry, the day we moved in is the day we move out. Like we're good tenants. And so for us to like actually raise a fuss about something means that there's actually a problem. And so anyway, what the call that I just received was my property manager called me, or our building manager called me, and he goes, hey, like I talked to the front office, and they're kind of freaking the fuck out because they didn't think that anybody would care enough to do research as to what's going on here. And so I like immediately after all of this started happening, and we've been kind of like searching for an excuse to be able to move into a new place. We can do a little more room, so on and so forth. Essentially, since we've like moved in here and gotten comfortable, we realized we don't have enough space. And so we were trying to look for ways to like either get out of our lease or break our lease or find a new place to move out to. And so the property manager, or I'm sorry, the building manager just called us and he goes, hey, you know, like I talked to the property company, like they did not think that anybody would actually bother checking on anything. And so when you like got in touch with them and got in touch with me and said that like you actually know what your legal rights are, you know, like how things are supposed to be done, you know, the fact that like, you know, there's probably a boiler room below us that hasn't been touched since the 40s and 50s. Like they're probably kicking up some good old fashioned asbestos and coal in there, you know?
Right.
And so, and on top of everything else, I work for an environmental agency. So,
like you know a
So
good
about
baseline
that.
of your shit.
yeah, and on top of everything else, if I want to go and like do air quality testing in my office, like I just walk to the storage closet in my building and I get like the kind of shit that they use on a landfill, you know? Like to make sure that what they're breathing in is not killing everything in the, you know, direct radius of it.
Right.
And so I told them all of this and I was like, man, honestly, like, what are you guys going to do to make this right? Are you going to prorate our rent? Are you guys going to like take us out of our lease so that we're on like a month by month basis so that if we want to move out because this is fucked, like we can? Because, you know, you guys don't have permits. You guys never notified us. You shut off our water. Like you did all of this shit. And like I'm not trying to sue you. Like, I don't want to sue you because that's going to take way too much of my time and way too much energy and it's going to take forever and nothing's going to happen. But like, how are you going to make this right? And so they just called me and they were like, you know, they're like kind of freaking out. You kind of gave them the wrath of God. And they like, if you guys want to move out, like you're more than welcome to move out. If they can like help out with prorating your rent, like they can do that, like whatever they need to make sure that you don't call the city. Please let us know.
Oh shit!
I have like the best visual, dude, of Wookiee. Like it's nighttime, long day of work. It's Friday. He's like, relax time. Has his fucking sexy bathrobe on. He's got a cigar and like a glass of scotch. Two ice cubes in it. He goes turn on the shower and he's like, you know, it's nothing. I can just see him throwing his scotch down. Just fuck. This is America. You know.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's like the most calm, collect, intelligent human being ever, but fuck, man, just throw shit around. Like, this is not some third world country, dude. Like, this is America. Like, I need my fucking water.
Well, I mean, dude, like, I don't
Get ready for your
like
bathtub there, baby.
I don't like talking about money or anything like that on the internet, dude. But like, if we were living in like some shithole, like $700-800 bedroom, like 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of fucking nowhere, like, okay, that's another conversation.
Yeah, understood.
But we pay almost $1,700 a month just for rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. And like, if you like, come the fuck on. Like, I'm a decent human being. I'd like to consider myself a decent human being, but like, there's some things that I will not tolerate. And like, I expect my money to go a certain length. And if you want to be like a piece of shit, then I will be a piece of shit right back to you. So that's my Tuesday wisdom. Don't do
If you're
things
gonna be a
illegally in
piece
my
of shit to
building.
me, I'm gonna
Wait.
be to you.
That was Taco Tuesday.
Common decency, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
But,
that's my
you know,
news for today.
Yeah, and you know that's gotta
Shitty
be
news,
a
but good news.
shitty job too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gotta be like those, because like the guys that are in there doing the construction, like they don't fucking know that there's no permit. Like they're just doing what they're told to do. Like they're just in there doing the work, and then now everybody's freaking out.
This
And,
my top. This my
yeah.
top.
In
But,
the city of Chicago, then the contractor is the one that has to file for permits.
well, right, but I'm just
That's
saying
most
the
places.
actual
Yeah, that's most places though.
the workforce though, like the guys there,
The
they
guy
don't
that's swinging
know.
the hammer and
Yeah,
popping the
yeah,
drill.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, whatever the fuck they're swinging in there, dude, is a hammer the size of a house, man. Because I swear to God, you'll see these guys. I'm not kidding you, dude. Like, it is unbelievable. Like, I mean, I grew up, like, my dad's an architect and he owns a construction company. Like, I grew up on job sites. You know, like, when I needed to make some extra money, I went to a job site and, like, I worked for a day. And so, like, I understand, like, this is noisy, this is messy and all of that, but, like, when we were doing work in an apartment building, you put up fucking foil on the walls or, like, plastic sheeting on the walls so that your dust doesn't go everywhere. Nope, dude, these assholes, like, all right, so there's only entryway to that unit from the alley. And then we live in a courtyard building, and so you walk into our front door, there's, you know, a little staircase, we're on the first floor. When you walk up the stairs, like, for a couple of days there, you could actually see, like, dust coming out of the carpet.
That is
Dude, that's
ridiculous, man.
so
Wow.
hardcore.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Straight Wreck-It
Man.
Ralph on your ass.
No
Yes.
shit, man.
Damn.
Man,
Well-
that's my story.
Damn. Well, speaking of shitty jobs, we're gonna give a little background into the kind of the history of how some of us actually met tonight. Evo over there, old Brendan and I, we worked together at the good old GameStop.
GameStop.
I was actually his supervisor, if you can believe that. Somebody actually gave me keys to
Ooh,
something.
you were supervising.
I was supervising.
He was
Um,
supervising my ass. I mean, what?
Oh, bring that ass here, boy.
But yeah, that was I think retail in general though, dude. Retail is just like it's brutal, man. It is fucking shitty.
Shit show. It's
And
horrible.
but I do recommend that everybody works retail at least once.
Everybody should try it. Everybody try it.
You definitely develop a certain level of patience,
Uh-huh.
you know, with just the general public, which can be useful in, you know, real life day-to-day scenarios, of course. But fuck
Yeah.
retail.
But we were there, like
But still.
we were there in the holiday season because you were a temp employee. Like you got hired just for the holidays.
I was hired on for a temp employee, and this was back in 2007,
Mm-mm. It was
I
like-
believe.
Yeah, no, because I already had Lil Splice,
Yep, you already had, he was
So-
not a year old yet, so
So it was
somewhere
2008. I think it was the
2008.
2000
Okay. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Because I was out of high school, I believe.
Yeah. And it was right when like the final transition from PS2 and Xbox was transitioning into PS3 and 360. And the paper bags full of PlayStation 2 games that were scratched to shit fucking coming in. Oh, just constantly because
Dude,
these people were like, "Oh, I want to buy my son the PS3, but like I can't afford it, so I'm gonna trade in all his PS2 shit." And you'd sit there, and you'd spend all this time, and you'd fucking scan all 97 goddamn games: Madden 02, Madden 03, Madden
Oh my
04,
God.
Madden 05, and then you'd
I'm
be
gonna
like,
give you about tree fitty.
"Your total is
Yes.
$26.50," and then they'd be like, "What? I can't buy a PS3 for that." Well, no shit. Congratulations.
Hi, welcome to GameStop.
Sure.
How can I help you?
And it was, dude, it was terrible because like you almost felt like you were just crushing their children's dream because like I'm only gonna give you $20 for all 90 of these games, and now little Johnny is not gonna open up a PlayStation 3 on Christmas morning, and you almost feel like it's your fault. Like they make you feel like it's your fault. Like I set the fucking rules, bro. I scan the shit in a computer, okay, and it tells me what to give you. I can't just go in there and fucking gangster rig the whole thing and give you
And
whatever
no,
the fuck
I
you
cannot
want.
give you any fucking discounts. Okay.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, well, can I get more than that? Can't you just hack the system? No, this is GameStop. They don't teach us how to hack here.
So,
But you can get Hacking Simulator 2009 and we're
Right here.
here.
With your new PlayStation 3.
With your new PlayStation 3, you can pre-order it right now.
It's an exclusive.
And your
Launch
$160 discount is not valid.
title.
I actually have a question for you guys, having worked at GameStop, and I don't know how much substance there is to this, but I heard that as a GameStop employee, you like don't get regular paychecks, but they make you sign up for some kind of like bullshit bank account through them or something like that. Is that true or no?
I think that was like an option or something.
Like you get
I recall that
percentage
being a
more.
thing, but it may have been a different
Like, you
job
would
I
get
worked
X
at.
percentage more, like 5% more on your paychecks if you use like some bank.
I don't know about that.
Is
Yeah, I
is
have
that a
no
thing?
idea.
No.
I never heard anything about that.
Or
Maybe,
yeah,
I
maybe
was
it is
a
since we
supervisor.
left, though. I mean, we were there a long time ago, so maybe they changed something, implemented it. GameStop, like, one thing that I know Jeff and I learned is that they always try to implement new shit pretty regularly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if that maybe came after the fact, but
That's why we're going
It
bankrupt.
wouldn't surprise me if they were like saying you'd get like an extra percentage if you took part of it on a fucking GameStop gift card.
yeah, that
honestly.
wouldn't, that wouldn't
Like, at
surprise
this
me either,
point.
honestly.
I mean, the worst part about working there is that they pushed so hard and they judged you so hard on how many pre-orders you got and how many sales of their little power-up what they call it now. When we were there, it was still the Edge card.
Yeah.
But and how many of those you got? And like, it didn't affect your paycheck at all. But like, if you didn't fucking hit those numbers, bro, you got a talking to. They pulled you to the back room and they're like, why aren't you selling any pre-orders right now? Well, because there's nothing cool fucking coming out, dude. Like, I can't just have a pre-order some bullshit when there's like nothing good.
Right.
Hey, when the new Call of Duty launches, motherfucker, I'll get you some pre-orders. Okay.
Yep.
But they didn't care.
They
Got all of
pushed
them.
those pre-orders very, very hard, man.
Hell
And
yeah.
like, if you, it all trickles down. So the DM, the district manager guy comes in, talks to the store manager, then he talks to everybody else, and he's stressing out, sprinting all over the place, just trying to figure it all out. Even though you don't have any control on that, you don't have any control on pre-orders. If someone doesn't like, we're gonna go back to the Madden thing coming out, Madden, the new Madden, whatever, because they go on with one every single year. Then what, you're not gonna pre-order. It's not like the 90s where there was actually a limited number. Like they would at least our GameStop that we worked at, like they ordered way more than what was needed. But I will say our store that we worked at was like the busiest in it was
region.
either was it the whole region?
It was the whole region, yeah.
Dude,
Which one did y'all work at?
The one on Cobb Parkway in Ackworth.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
6242 represent.
Dude, like if you go into any
Word.
GameStop and you just see mountains of trades or like just, shitty looking cases from, little Johnnies and Timmies just destroying all their stuff, like multiply that to like the power of 10. And that's what our store had. Like we were number one in like trade sales. And so like, dude, everyone swarmed to ours because we had all these really big neighborhoods around us. Similar, I'm not going to say the neighborhoods, but really big neighborhoods where they're like, they're like their own private towns, dude. Yeah. And all those people came by from all those neighborhoods that hoarded all these thousands and thousands of people, and we were the closest one. The next one was like another 15 minutes up the road on a street that no one wants to drive on because it's so fucking busy all the time. So like we got a lot of praise, and our store manager at the time had a lot of praise because of all those numbers, but God forbid, man, those pre-orders, like you're done. One of the perks that I really found with GameStop was checking out any game you wanted at any given time for, what is it? I think it was 4 days at a time.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of like log it. Like you just fill out this thing in like this like little notebook that all the stores had. And you said, oh, well, my name is this one. Here's my employee number. Here's the date I'm checking this out. What game am I checking out? This one. For what console? This one. Boom. It's yours. And the store manager usually checks the book, and then you have to bring it back in that next day. But if you're not done with it yet, you can bring it back in or check it back out. I'm sorry. You can do it again as for a year if you fucking wanted to. So here's the issue with that. This is what the employees don't tell you while they're working there. You could check out the used games. You could also check out the brand new games. Wait, what do you... Brennan, Evo, whatever the fuck your name is.
Hold on,
what do you mean you can check out the brand new games? So the cases they put up there, like on the display, they take the new game out, put it in a sleeve in the drawer, and then put the case back up there. Mm-hmm. And so you could check those out. And they had more that were unsealed behind the counter that were labeled as new. But Jeff and I, it's like different orientation for the cameras here. Sorry for our listening audience.
Yeah, I just realized that. Sorry.
But you could. They had like 20 copies of these brand new games. So I remember like it wasn't Dragon's Dogma. It was Dragon Age. The Origins, the first one that came out. I checked that out when I was working there. And it was a brand new copy. And I was done with it. I came back in, and then management would still, not management, but, GameStop would still sell that as a new game. But they always say, like, this is open. Are you sure it's new? Oh, yeah, it's totally new. No, it's not.
Dude.
It's not.
The shadiest ones were the ones that had the damn... They had the shrink wrap machine in the back, and they would try to shrink wrap it, except that it wasn't like the legit wrap that it came in. It was like the saran wrap you'd use in the kitchen, so it was all thin and shit. But they would straight up like go back there and re-shrink wrap it. They'll be like, oh, no, it's cool. It's new. I'll go shrink wrap it for you. and then they'd like walk out with the same game in a shrink wrap and try to hand them the same one, and people would just be like, still not new, jackass, but like nice fucking try.
But it is new. It's never been
excuse
played.
me?
Yes, it has. But like, as employees, ones that aren't paid shit anyway, okay, I don't give a fuck. I don't have to pay $60 for this
Yep.
fucking game. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take advantage of this shit. I'm gonna go play all my free games. And my Xbox, I had a lot of
And
trophies on my
then-
Xbox account.
And then those fucking people would walk out the door pissed off because they didn't get a brand new game, and the manager would look at you and he'd be like, "Why didn't you get them to try to pre-order the new Kirby?"
Because they bought an Xbox game.
What do you mean
bought a
you didn't
fucking-
want to pre-order?
God bless. Why isn't he part of our club card? Because you just sold him a new game that was open, you asshole.
No, because you just sold him a new game that was covered in saran wrap, asshole.
Right, and I was just playing it all weekend, so like I know it's not new.
I
had to
ruined
check
it
out
for him. I
2
told him
months.
the final boss.
I'll never forget, dude. This is after Jeff and I and Splice and I worked there. It was Titanfall 2 midnight release.
Oh my god, this.
And we go in there, and I had pre-ordered at a different store, and then Mike and I think Mike, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was there for
Mike
that
and
one, yeah.
dude, Mike and
Yeah, I was
Splice were
totally
like,
there.
"Oh, well, we're gonna go like pregame in the parking lot of GameStop
Yep.
for the release," and I was like, "Well, that sounds a lot more fucking fun
We used to
than my
pregame in the
ideas."
store when we worked there too.
Yeah, we did.
Me and Jeff were probably pre-gaming on the way there.
Yeah, probably. So I called the store and I go to the store at like 25 minutes away, and I transfer it to that store. Well, I go in there, and like the girl, I don't know. Now, forgive me, I don't remember every single detail. There was like a lot more that goes into this, but she was like, "Oh, well, your pre-order didn't transfer, so you're gonna have to go pay for it over there." And I'm like, but they called and spoke to somebody here, and they said it was fine and they got it or whatever. And now you're telling me it's not, and it's like 11:45 p.m.
Oh, brutal.
Like, and I'm hanging out with my guys. I don't want to go drive all the way over there 25 minutes and then drive all the way back 15 minutes because something's not right. I have the receipt right here saying it was transferred, like whatever the fuck happened. And there was something else that went on too, but I don't remember. I don't want to give any like, fake bullshit or whatever. And so, didn't we end up like working it out or something like that?
No, they like basically they canceled the pre-order at the first store, and then they just made you buy another one. Or no, they made you buy another one because you had paid for it. in full.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
paid for it.
I had to buy another one there, and I think like the next day I had to go to
get
that
your
other
money back.
store and get the return. I'm like, this is a pain in the ass. Like y'all said everything was good, and so I get the slip, and we go through the fucking line for the pre-order, right? Which I mean, honestly, that store has always been pretty good about the line. Like we were running out,
yeah.
and,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, 12 o'clock,
We went out quick as
12:03, we were
fuck.
walking out, we were in the back of
Right.
the line, drunk as fuck. And Jeff, what did she say when we got our pre-order again?
Dude,
What
so you
happened with
walk
that?
up. Oh, dude, so you walk up and you hand her the fucking slip. And this is the same girl that gave you all the grief about the whole fucking thing. And you hand her
I'm
the
so
slip,
excited for this.
and she goes, "No problem, bruh. I got you, Hype Squad fam." And then
Dabs.
goes and grabs the
Fucking
fucking-
dabs,
He goes
dude.
and grabs the game off the counter and brings it to you.
I got you,
After-
Hype Squad fam.
Wow.
And then the dab.
That should
that
be
was-
y'all's new
oh,
welcoming
man.
thing. Instead of the hide sign, everybody should
Dude,
God,
oh
it
my
was
God.
ridiculous, man.
And she thought she was so clever, like she did something special for you.
Oh,
I
she
know,
did. But she
yeah.
did.
No, she made you buy the fucking game again, dude. Like she didn't do anything.
This $60 game was now $120 until 5 days later when the payment comes back through. to
No,
my
the
bank
question
account.
is though, did she try to hit you with some extra pre-orders while you were there?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guarantee you.
absolutely. So anyway, after the whole situation, I called the store manager again, and that store manager, I remember this guy because with the some Destiny release, we were there, and I was like pre-ordering that too. This is before I had a PC or anything like that, so this is a while. And the manager, he's like a Destiny diehard apparently. We go in there to pre-order it, and he's like, "Oh well," and they had like this Gallarhorn, okay, for all you Destiny like people that don't play Destiny, Gjallarhorn is like the rocket launcher. Like this is the one that you want. This is back in D1 days before the second one dropped. And there was like 2 coming to the store, and he was like, "Hey man, like, do you want to pre-order this?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Okay, well, we only have 2 coming to the store."
Please.
And I just pre-ordered mine, and I'm like, "So you have
Cool
2
story, bro.
Gjallarhorns coming to the store, and you, the store manager, just fucking pre-ordered one?"
Oh my god. We would have been crucified, dude.
Are
for
you
that. There's
fucking
no
serious? There's
Dude, I worked at
no
Best
way.
Buy. It would have been the same
And so
shit. I got roasted.
So that was like before this whole pre-order Titanfall thing incident, like a year or something. And so I called him up, and I'm not one to be like, you know, go leave like, "Oh, well, I'm mad, so I'm gonna go on Yelp and leave this review." Like, I'm just not. I'm not a fucking Karen, okay? Like,
You sound
can I
like
see
a
your
Karen
manager?
right now.
Like, no, that's
So
not how I
cared in
roll.
California.
Yeah, everyone, all of them. So I call him the next day, and I'm like, "Look, dude, like this is what happened before." And I was like, "Look, I used to work at that store, and I at the time, like I was a manager, you know, and I was fucking great at my job. I was, and I was like, dude, like, you know, besides the whole Bungie rocket launcher deal, I was like, you know, you kind of seem like a pretty, you know, you're really trying to make the best of it. So I'm just gonna let you know, like, what happened, like manager to manager or whatever." And he was like, "What?" And I told him everything, and he was like, "No, that's bullshit. Like, do you want like a discount or like a coupon? Like, you want like a half off or something?" I'm like, "No, I don't want anything. Like, I'm just
something.
do you want to pre-order this game right now? Because we have some sweet pre-orders for a minimum of $5. Like, no, I do not." You know,
You should have, though. You should have been
I
like, "Yeah,
should've.
hype fam."
Sunday.
Dude, like, here's the thing with that. I didn't want to be like that guy who was bitching just to get something for free. You know what I mean? Like, I really genuinely, I was like, dude, for old time's sake with this store, like, I'm trying to help you out. And so, like, he offered me shit. I said, no, I don't want it. Like, we're good. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm just trying to help you out. But like, this bitch made me fucking mad. Okay. Like, screw her. Okay. Hype squad fam. Dab. Yeah. So go write her up.
Go write her up.
No, but I mean, she still worked there. Like, she wasn't like fired or anything like that. But I don't know. It was kind of like a thing.
Oh,
You know,
dude,
but
it was ridiculous.
that's my most recent GameStop store. I don't really shop there anymore.
Well, no, because you can't.
No, we have
walk
things
in
like
there.
Steam now.
Man, no,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Yeah,
Thick
first of all-
discounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, Steam. Second of all, like, you have to fucking trip over the massive amount of toys that are
Oh
in
my
a
god, it's
GameStop now
crazy, dude.
just to get to the counter.
And third off,
then-
fuck retail.
GameStop
Ugh.
looks like a fucking hot topic now.
Dude, no shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
That was like
oh
the
my
best
god,
description
you're
ever.
right.
Yeah, that legit.
Dude, that never registered for me. You're absolutely
now.
right. It looks like a
Can't
fucking
unsee it.
hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Without the sex toys in the back.
Yeah. That's Spencer's.
Oh shit, it does.
True story.
Yeah.
Oh
Remember when
my
Hot
God.
Topic used to be good?
Remember when the
Remember
mall
when
used
you
to be
used to
cool?
tell your
Remember when
parents
the mall
it's
used
not
to
a
be
phase?
cool? Yeah, you're right.
Remember when Amazon came on the scene? What?
Remember when Amazon took over the world?
Yes, I do.
You remember that, bro?
Speaking of which, what packages do I have coming out?
No,
Yes,
seriously.
I had 3 come in today. Like, fuck.
have
My
one, like,
wife,
every
my
day of the
wife's a
fucking
shopper.
week.
What am I gonna do?
I'm a shopper.
Me too. I'm trying to give her the blame, but I can't. Okay,
Don't
I'm
worry,
pretty
dude. It's too easy.
irresponsible.
Too fucking easy.
Now,
Pay for
now,
Prime. I'm saving money by spending this $100 and getting free shipping.
Truth.
yeah, but see, now when I have something and somebody sees it and they're like, "Oh man, that's really fucking cool. Where'd you get it?" I always kind of like pause for a second and I want to be like, "Are you stupid?" Like, I got it on Amazon.
fuck do you
Like,
think?
like, where
Were
the
you
fuck do you
internet
think I
Fucking
got it?
serious? Where the fuck do you
Fuck do
think I
you
got
mean?
it? Amazon. Oh,
Is
Think
there
I
no
left my
one
house?
there can only be one.
Oh, exactly. Oh my god.
So
But mate, you know-
I never
Go ahead,
I never
buddy.
worked at GameStop, but I worked at the old Target, you know, the big
Oh,
T.
jeez.
Rich folk
and I
Walmart.
Oh, that's probably just as bad, dude.
Well, so I
can
worked
only
in the
imagine.
electronics. I worked in electronics. I didn't work in like,
That's
anything else.
even worse.
God, GameStop lights.
No.
Ouch.
Which like
GameStop
I mean,
steroids.
Yeah, I mean essentially like Except instead of trying to, we like not only had to sell pre-orders, but we had to try and sell like the Target red cards, the credit cards, and everything like that. Which that absolutely, unequivocally, 100% impacted your ability to get promotions and raises. Was like if you didn't sell red cards, like you were just fucking sitting in the cashier's booth all day, every day. But so with so you guys were saying that you used to be able to check out like brand new games that would come out and everything like that. For us, we had like around the camera booth that's in like, you know, was in every Target. They don't do it anymore. Now they're all open, but like there used to be like that little pentagon of cameras that was around the electronics section. There was a bunch of drawers in there where like you would have the boxes of the cameras and like for stuff that was commonly getting sold. And then that's where also we would keep like pre-ordered games. And then there was always one extra drawer that only like the managers on duty had access to. And so we would always just like fucking take our manager's keys, be like, yo, we got to get into the back room really quick, grab our manager's keys, go stash a couple copies of whatever games we're interested in inside of that little drawer. And then you get like little Timmy and Karen coming in and be like, hi, yes, we pre-ordered this game. Like, can we come pick it up? Be like, yeah, sorry, man, we're all out of stock.
Sold out yesterday.
Oh, man.
We did the same shit at Best Buy. I spent my 5 years there. We did the same exact shit, but I was in core audio
there for 5 years.
Close to it, dude. It was like
wow.
It was just shy of 4. It was just shy of 5 years, like 4 and some change. But
we've known each other for such a long time,
right, dude. It's been fucking forever. So
wow. Sorry, that was
no, you're good. We would
that
do
was
pre-orders.
incredible to me. Yeah, sorry.
And I worked for a new store, and we had one of the biggest car audio departments in the company. Well, in the Southeast in the company. So what we would do is we would hold all of the midnight releases in the install bay. We do this like big ass party. Well, we had toolboxes and everything else, so we would snag a couple copies and lock them up in toolboxes and under cabinets where people couldn't get. And the next day, it's all of a sudden like, hey, I need to pick up this game. I pre-ordered it. Shit, I guess we sold out last night. Sorry. And we fucking grab them, take them to the register, fucking check each other out and shit. So yeah, we did the same shit.
Damn.
Yeah,
fuck
man.
People, man. Fuck
Trials
people.
and tribulations of retail.
Dude, actually, okay, so trials and tribulations of retail that's a real thing, and retail sucked. Like I have plenty of shitty stories from Best Buy, but I'm gonna have to go with fast food restaurants. Fast food restaurants was like where I did the dirtiest shit, and that was like the worst fucking section of my life. And it was a very short time. Like I promoted quick and I got the fuck out and did other things, but the time I spent in fast food, there's not many people that will listen to this podcast or I can talk to and they wouldn't hear some of the stories of the things we did in fast food and not like barf and like just start disbanding fast food restaurants.
Jeez.
How's that impossible, Whopper?
See, I don't know anything about the Impossible Whopper. I was at McDonald's. So, you know, McDonald's has, and if anybody knows about McDonald's back end, you'll know about the Q-Wave. The Q-Wave is like this ridiculous microwave. You can literally cook. You can cook anything in it. Like you can probably cook a cheeseburger in it, like a fresh made cheeseburger patty in like 45 seconds. Like
holy crap!
Yeah, like it's nasty,
terrifying.
gnarly as hell. So we always wanted to try out the whole what bugs could survive nuclear fallout.
Yeah.
Oh god,
So-
do microwave bugs?
I won't tell you that we didn't fucking nuke a few cockroaches for like 5-6 minutes at a time, open the door and they run out like, see y'all later, I'm out. Yeah, it's bad, dude. And they use it for a lot of
What?
shit, bro. Yeah, they use it for a lot of
Holy
shit.
shit.
Fucking gnarly, dude.
I've never worked at fast food, dude. I've done server jobs, you know, but
Yeah,
I've never done.
I'm
Fast
sure you've
food
seen your fair
before.
share of shit being a serving. That's
Yeah,
you
and
go in the
pizza
kitchen,
too.
there's always
I did
that
a lot of pizza
asshole.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, the kitchen's steer clear.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I was
man,
a-
like I did a lot of pizza
energy.
places. Like I worked at 5 pizza places in my life, mostly. Well, delivery and you know oven. I was on ovens
Right.
quite a bit. You know, we had brick ovens and like I worked at Papa John's, which is any international people that
Yeah.
don't know what that is. It's like a chain restaurant. I still like it though. I still love it,
Yeah, so fucking Papa
Um,
John's hardcore.
dude. I mean, fuck that. Them wings though are pretty solid, dude.
Them wings do get they do
They're
get
pretty
different out here,
dude. Yeah. That's crazy though, man. So have you only worked at McDonald's or have you worked at like
No, that was the only fast
Other-
food I ever did. Thank God.
Okay.
It was a
Yeah.
very short stint. I did like 7.5 months there. I started out on.
Yeah, leave that shit behind you, bro.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, no, and it's always been positive stuff. But I've had plenty of shitty jobs, obviously.
Yeah.
But McDonald's is like that notable one that I can like literally look back and go, dude, I did some nasty shit there.
Dude, I feel it, man. If I think of like nasty shit in a restaurant that I've worked at, dude, I only did this job for like a couple months because they would only give me like 1 day a week. It was like super temporary, super part-time, but I was unemployed and I was like, well, something is better than nothing. In this case, it wasn't because the pay, $5 a week I made just because of the gas or whatever. But anyway, so I worked at an Asian restaurant, like Asian cuisine, but it wasn't like a takeout place. It was an actual
Okay.
It was like an actual sit down restaurant. Yeah. So, dude, I was the dishwasher. Who here has had Asian food? Raise your hand. We've all had Asian food.
I'm not
How
I'm
many?
raising my hand right now. I'm not sure.
Hold on. I like
How many
enjoy
sauces does Asian food have?
a combination, an amalgamation of them all.
Literally like 3.2 billion per restaurant.
all
that
of
is
the
a
fucking ones.
true fact that I just
And
made
every
up.
one of
okay?
them is sticky.
And every single one of them is sticky. Now imagine mixing that in boiling hot fucking sink water as a dishwasher.
Fun
Fucking
times.
Flavor Town, baby.
Do not be a dishwasher at an Asian restaurant. You will regret.
No.
It is rough, okay?
No, man.
And at the end, I was like, dude, I'm
I
out,
gotta
man.
go. Like, yeah, just fucking.
I was not maybe a few weeks, dude, and I would have left a week sooner, but I kind of had a thing with like a waitress or whatever, so nothing ever came of that. But I was like, yo,
I was gonna say
let's goes, and then
it seems very long lived if you stayed there for 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks.
Man,
So I
worked
never.
Oh,
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Okay. I worked at a wing place. I worked at Buffalo's Southwest Cafe. And I was a kitchen manager, a bar manager. I started as just a regular server or whatever, and then kind of just like, I don't know if I want to say worked my way up, but I became responsible for way more things than I was when I started. And,
and more than I wanted to be. Didn't want to be responsible for that, but I was.
But
you got a good head on your shoulders. Want to be the manager and the cook and the server and the cleaner and the dishwasher?
Oh man, it was terrible. But I hated blue cheese. Like I just can't eat blue cheese. And so when I first started there, like everybody there knew that I didn't like blue cheese, and we made them literally in these 5-gallon vats at a time. And then like to prepare for like the lunch shift or the dinner shift or whatever, we would take like a scoop, like an ice cream scoop, and you dip it into this bucket and you'd like scoop it into the little like ramekin cups or whatever. And we'd like lay them all out. So when you were grabbing your wings to take it to the table, you could just like grab and go.
Scoop and
And
do.
so it was probably like my first week there. And I went and I used to gag. Like I literally used to like open this bucket of blue cheese and like have a gag moment because the smell of the moldy cheese just got to me that bad. And so one day I'm going down and I dip down in there to like scoop it out, and somebody comes up behind me and just slaps my elbow. So my arm just goes down into the bucket. Which, like, first of all, like that pissed me off. But second of all, like that's a fucking health concern because like I literally just stuck my hand. So I turn around and I look at this dude who I've met like 3 days ago. It just fucking slapped him in the face with the blue cheese hand.
Jesus.
And then I got promoted to management.
Yes, that's the fucking American dream right there.
You
That's
did
how you
what
sum
to
it
the
up
blue
in one
cheese?
shit.
How I should fire you.
You're a manager
You're being
now.
written up.
Oh,
I
man.
need you to be manager.
But
Okay.
then-
I wrote you up to manager. That's all I do. I wrote you up to
I
manager.
wrote you up.
Stepped up one
Here's
for
your
that one.
punishment. Now you're gonna make more money.
So I
Oh, my
worked at
God.
Oh my
two-
God.
I worked at 2 different restaurants. I never did the fast food thing or anything like that, but I worked at like an upscale wine bar / like small plate restaurant, and then I worked at, of all places, an Indian restaurant as a server.
Yummy curry.
Which, like, I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. It was working at that Indian restaurant was fucking misery because, like, I mean, oh God. All right, which story do I start with? All right, so you know how I'm not even gonna talk about the wine bar because like I loved working there. It was a greatest job I ever had. You'd go work on like a Friday, Saturday night, you'll go home with $300-400 in your pocket, like fucking money. But that Indian restaurant, dude, the shittiest thing about working there was like they wanted us to pull tips, and I always made the most money because like I actually gave a shit about my job and like wanted to make some money, you know. But so you'd get like, you know how you get the little like the chutneys in the little ramekins. So that you would get 3 of them. You would get a spicy one, you would get a like a mild one, and then you would get like the cilantro tamarind sauce, right?
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, good shit.
Well, super good shit. But you might reevaluate that decision after hearing the rest of the story.
Please don't ruin this for me.
Oh, I'm gonna.
It's about to be ruined there, buddy.
I'm gonna. You told me about cockroaches in my fucking McDouble. I'm gonna tell you about
QA,
these
baby, in the
ramekins. So, and I will preface this by saying that I thought it was fucking disgusting and I refused to do it, and it's the reason that I got fired. But essentially, you would take like your ramekins from the table, and the general expectation was that like you don't dip your food into the ramekins, like you pour it out onto the, you know, you give it on a table of 4 people, and you know, like I mean, we're not animals. Like if you go and you have a table full of dipping sauce, like you're not gonna fucking like if the 4 of us are sitting around a table and we get one thing of ranch, like we're not just gonna sit there and like, you know, just start double dipping our shit, you know, like if we're
Shit,
strangers,
you don't know me.
You know?
I was about to say, you must not know us too well, huh?
But at the same time,
like
I guess the 4 of us is not the right way of saying it because we absolutely would do that. But if you get 4 like businessmen, right, that come in from media,
normal people
who gotta act normal, okay,
not rejects such as us.
right? And so like a little bit more
reject.
background. Like this place costs like about $80 a head for like a small meal, you know, like
Damn.
yeah, like that's
All right, got it.
yeah,
I'm with it.
Yeah, so like that to give you the other expectation of like if you want your own ramekin of sauce, like you get your own fucking ramekin of sauce. Like we can spare that like 6 cents worth of cilantro. But anyway, so the expectation was that despite that these people are paying ridiculous margins, you would take your ramekins left over on the table and you would pour them back into the communal sauce containers. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah.
So in other words, where they made this sauce, like the big ass vat, they made this sauce. When they picked them up from the table, if it wasn't really used, they would just pour that shit back in the motherfucker.
Oh, the thing could have like a tablespoon left in it, and you pour it in there before you give it to the dishwasher.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And so here's the great part. I moved about 6 blocks away from this restaurant, and the food there was fantastic. Like, it is some of the best fucking Indian food I've ever had in my entire life. And I would absolutely love to order it and eat some more of it, but I can't.
Nah, fam.
No way,
it's
dude.
a trap.
Do it.
Nah, fam.
Not
Don't
fam.
do it.
Yeah, no, it's foul, man. Like it's fucked up, and especially you think like if you're going and you're, you know, paying a premium for this kind of stuff, like you're gonna get fresh.
You expect certain
fresh
things.
Nope, you got fucking old Wookiees boogers in that one over there.
Well,
dude.
but that brings me to a whole nother thing though. So because like the industry I'm in now, I see a lot of customers' houses, and I see a lot of different cultures, and I see a lot of ways that people act and the things they do that I guarantee you none of us were ever raised on some of the shit that I've ever seen. But that totally makes sense now. That like it wouldn't matter if we've all eaten out of one bowl, just double dipping this and a third, just pour it back in the thing and let it be. Their homes, and I'm not just saying any people, I'm not saying Asian, I'm not saying anything, just kind of general. People have habits and people were raised a certain way that like, yo, that's their normal fucking lifestyle, and shit you see is not kosher. Like fucking health violations everywhere, home and work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah.
No, it's brutal, man, and that's another job I recommend everybody has. You know, is working in a restaurant, because like you will start picking and choosing where you go, because you'll know what kind of shit happens at different restaurants. But also, you know, like even now, like I look at it and it's, you know, it's such a difficult job, because if the kitchen fucks up, it's your fault as a server, and it reflects on your tip. And it's
it's your fault. If the management fucks up, it's your fault.
If you could be busting your ass, but like if for some reason somebody else fucks up, I mean, somebody else could just be walking by and they could trip and fall and they won't tip you.
Sure,
so when you go to the restaurant, tip your fucking servers, please. Pro tip from Splice.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Because they put up with a lot of bullshit, I'm telling you. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Go
terrible.
watch the movie Waiting.
We all went
Because that's actually how it is.
No,
okay?
we all
That's
went
real
and
shit,
watched
dude.
it. Like me, when I was working at that restaurant, we all went together, like as a group, like the ones that were off work, and we all went and watched it together. And there were legitimately characters in that movie that they'd come out and start talking and they'd do something, and I would like turn and I'd be like, "That's fucking you, dude! Like that is you." Because it is
Can we go in the
you.
back and play the ball showing game, please?
What?
Can we go in the back and play the ball sharing game?
Yeah, y'all ever get bat winged?
Hamburger.
Yeah, man. I mean, I completely agree. I think that everybody should work in retail and everybody should work in a restaurant at least once in their life. I never, ever
absolutely.
hope that I'm like in a
Yo.
position in my life where I got to go back to that because that was fucking misery. But like, I am eternally grateful that I had to do that because my patience level with other people nowadays, like, it is. I mean, in a regular like professional setting, like the amount of shit that you could hear and deal with is unbelievable. And like Mike, you could vouch for this. You work in IT essentially as well, dude. Like it's a customer service job. And like
I was
Jeff,
literally
with what
fixing to
you
mention
do-
that.
Yeah,
get
Jeff,
into
what you
get
do-
into home service, like home service, restaurant service, and retail. Those are three things that everybody needs to fucking experience, and in some capacity or another, because you see some of the shit that's on people's computers because you are 100% IT, so like you're in the back end of everything. But I see it on the front end, like I see how they live, and you see what they do when they think nobody's looking. So
Oof.
that retail and dude, man, that retail and restaurants, everybody needs to experience that shit in some capacity. Whether you go play dirty bosses or whatever the fuck it is, where you like the boss goes in the back and fucking actually does this shit with all the workers, but like everybody needs to see it. It will open your eyes to a whole nother level. And also what makes you a shitty human being. Like you go and your waitress just hit Johnny on the fucking spot because she had a badass day, her grandmother died or whatever. And you're like, fuck this hoe, I'm giving her a 50-cent tip on a $100 bill. But you're being a dick because she had a fucking bad day, man. Like compassion is fucking shit, and you need to see it to understand it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Would 100% agree.
After working in the service industry, man, like even if you're a dog shit server, like you're gonna get a 20% tip from me, no matter what.
Yep.
Like no matter what.
Absolutely. Unless you were just like, I can tell you were 100% preoccupied with everything other than fucking taking care of your tables.
Yeah.
You're getting the 20% tip. Now, if I see you over there fucking off on your phone while my drink's sitting empty, bitch, we talking about it. And I'm gonna talk to you once or twice about it. And after that, we're gonna fucking go ahead and just start cutting the tip down. You know what I'm saying? I started at 20, 25%. I'm gonna start cutting that motherfucker down. And that's
Absolutely.
that's because you ain't doing your fucking job. At that point, you
Yeah.
aren't doing your job.
Like,
There's a big
I've
difference.
wanted a refill
between-
for 30 minutes. Like,
Right.
and you haven't
right.
brought it.
Right,
Where's
thank
my
you.
appetizer? I asked for extra grits. Okay.
I'm drinking beer. You want these fucking tips? Bring me another one.
Bring me another beer. It's
Are you
more
Because
money.
drinking
there's
for
a
you.
big
Saturday?
difference between a server being overwhelmed in like what we called it in the weeds, and a server
Yep.
just being
Not giving a fuck.
not giving a fuck and not paying attention.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
I mean that's
Absolutely.
so yeah. I mean I will never
That's
give
my
somebody a
industry.
bad
That's
tip.
Wookiees too.
Yeah, I mean I won't give somebody a bad tip just because the service was bad. It just depends on the situation, man.
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
you just never know.
Absolutely.
So
And your personality means a lot too. Like, yo, have a personality. You ain't got to be the best server, but like, come over and say something fucking funny. Like, do something fun. Like, yo, give me good ass service or do
Ooh.
something fucking funny. Make me laugh, and yo, you're getting the fucking tip off the rip.
or just act like you care.
I'm like on the
Even
far
sometimes I don't
opposite.
even care about that. Like, just make me laugh.
I'm on the far opposite end of the spectrum, man. Like, I want my server to come, take my order, check on me like a couple, 2-3 times. If my like generally, if me and Nate will go to a restaurant, then like we'll order a bottle of wine, and like the bottle of wine stays at the table. Like I want your recommendation. I want you to be honest with me on the menu. I want you to like hear what I have to say. But there are very few things that irk me as much as like that one server that's just trying too hard to be funny and like is fishing for that
Fucking
tip. Like,
tryhards.
yeah, dude, that is
yeah,
another
yeah,
surefire
yeah.
way to get me. Like, I'll never stiff anybody. I don't think I've ever stiffed somebody. Actually, that's not true. Once I did on accident entirely. We ordered some Jimmy John's, and I like thought I tipped on my card, and I didn't, and they like walked away without any extra cash, and I felt fucking
that was
horrible.
dick.
Oh man,
Dude, I felt so bad. We had a 20-minute conversation about it afterwards. I felt fucking terrible. But like I don't think I've ever stiffed a tip at a restaurant. And like for me to actually have to stiff somebody, dude, my God, like, you really have to be fucking up. For even me to give somebody less than 20%, then, you know, you really got to fuck it up. And, like, as one of our live viewers says, man, like, you always got to be stiff when you give them the tip.
Just the fucking tip.
Now, here's something that it may be a little bit of a controversial sort of.
Here? No way.
Contradiction? Fucking run that, please. Excite me.
Example: Chinese buffet. Do you tip?
Yes. 110. No.
It depends. It depends. Okay, it depends because
What does it depend on?
Situation.
Like if you are fucking at one of those places where they just give you an empty cup and you go sit down at your table and you get your own drinks and your own food, then like I'm not going to tip them because they're not doing anything. But if they're coming over and they're clearing my plates
Checking
and they're
on me,
refilling my drinks and shit, then I will.
Yep. Taking care of your ass.
So-
Two different types of buffets.
Maybe I'm a beta bitch, dude, but I even tip on, like, carryout.
Yeah, you know, it's
I
one of
usually
those things.
do, but
Depending on
very
where I'm at.
minimal.
Depending on
Yeah,
how
it
fast my
depends
shit
on
gets
where it's
ready.
at.
I mean, like there's a lot on a lot of shit, but I've been in service. I understand if I don't bust my ass to get my fucking tip, I'm not getting the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you ain't doing the same shit, and the problem is the younger the service crowd gets, whether it be carry out, whether it be car audio install, whether it be home theater install, whatever the case is, like service industry as a whole, from cars to houses and everything in between, the younger the generation gets, the more they expect shit. They don't want to work
Right.
for it. If you ain't putting in the work, you ain't getting shit.
Yep.
I'll bring you in the house, bend you over my knee, whip your ass like my son, and put you back on the streets until you get the fucking money.
Well, have you guys
Come on, man,
noticed?
let's be for real. Fucking be for real.
But have you guys noticed lately, though, like recently, I don't know when this started, and within the last few years, though, I feel like everywhere you go, the receipt always has a tip line on it. And it didn't used to fucking be like that.
Yes.
It was only if you sat down at a actual table that you would see one with a tip line. And now, like, you can't fucking go anywhere. And it's like, I feel bad leaving it blank. I feel even worse if I take the time to write 000. Like, not only am I not going to tip you, but I'm going to spend some extra time today to make sure you know I will fucking tip you.
Right.
But I
right.
mean, but like, you feel like you have to tip it. And I'm like, dude, you know what though? But you didn't really do anything. Like the cook did. But like who's taking the money home?
That's kind of my thing too. Like if I go to a restaurant, I'm like, yo, I love this fucking place. And it's like some clever dude or girl like behind the counter or whatever, and I'm picking up for like takeout. Like I'll be like, yo, $1 or $2. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like,
well, remember,
yo, 20%. Like fuck that, dude. Like you didn't like you didn't, seat me and wait on me for 20 minutes before the food got here. And
remember
then
this right here though.
Like, come on.
That even at the end of the night, even on takeout, your kitchen staff gets tipped out.
Not
so the people that actually did do your
all the
shit,
time though. It depends on the restaurant.
You're right, and you kind of pay attention to that. But on the other side of that, the way the credit card machine is set up is where that whole tip line comes from, and it's not based on just dine in or this or that.
Right.
So that's just programming, and they can't reprogram it every fucking time somebody comes in the door. So it's gonna be there.
Oh, so it wasn't like. Okay, so it's like more the machine more than anything.
Right. So
interesting. Okay.
When I was managing the last car audio shop I was at before industry, I had one of the last things I had to do is I had to set up the new credit card processing, and they actually came in. This super fucking cool chick comes in and hangs out with us for like the whole fucking day, checking out the shop and everything we do. But she literally at the end of the day was like, okay, so how do you want to lay out your receipt? And I was like, well, what the fuck do you mean? Like, how do I want to lay out my receipt? I want it to fucking give a total, a credit card signature, and I'm gonna put it in the drawer at the end of the night. Like, that's the end of it. She's like, no. Like, do you want to put tips and this and that? And I'm like, huh? And dude, there's like fucking 45 different fucking options as far as the way this receipt's laid out. It's dumb as fuck.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay.
so
that explains a little more than with the whole recent influx of it.
Right.
Because if everyone goes to a certain company, certain machine.
Yep.
You got to breathe there.
You did. I'm glad you did. I didn't want you to see you die.
Well, yeah.
So that's all programming.
If you own a restaurant and they come in and they set it up and they're like, oh, do you want a tip line? As a restaurant owner, you're going to be like, well, yeah, because that's just an opportunity to catch an extra
There's no reason
couple
to
bucks.
change it depending Yeah, that makes sense.
And you see it
sense.
just in service as a whole. So like any kind of service, like manual labored service in any capacity, you're probably going to start seeing that because a lot of the same banks So people like Wells Fargo, Chase, X4th, and so on, their credit card processing fees are super fucking high. So a lot of independent, if you will, banks or companies have started banking divisions to literally get down credit card processing fees. So they're getting out there and they're doing the sales and they're doing everything between to get with the customers and build on new customers. But because of that, you're seeing a lot of the same company take over a lot of the businesses in your area. And you're going to start seeing certain options that are consistent across the board.
But see, like, I'm okay
Today
with,
I learned.
Hey,
with having
let him here for
tips.
something.
I'm okay with having tips on like pretty much anything where you're getting a service. Like if you hire a landscaper and like you have somebody come and mow your lawn, like yeah, dude, throw the guy an extra $20 and buy him a bottle of scotch for Christmas time. But like there's a shop that, for those of you that are not listening, the three of us, all four of us actually, we're former addicts, and so now we're on these sweet vapes, brah, and like I go to a vape shop around here in Chicago, and they're like, as part of their checkout process, like they give you the option to tip them, which like at that point I'm not entirely convinced that that's acceptable, but at the same time, like I'm asking the stoner behind like the counter to recommend me which type of mango, apple, guava, mint juice is the best, and they have like 17 different varieties. So but it's all subjective.
But that's also like his one job besides
Right.
and doing the register. Like I didn't ask for any tips working at GameStop helping fucking soccer moms not buy GTA for their 8-year-old. You know what I mean? That was just part of my job.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
In
But, like,
turn, companies just need to, justify the pay generally. Like,
but like I'd regularly get
That's a
like
good point.
$5-10 as a tip when I worked at Target. Like if you recommend somebody a camera and like they come and they love it and they use it, and then like they come and they buy like some more accessories for it and all that shit, which, oh my god, don't even get me started on fucking upselling accessories.
Yeah, upselling accessories.
accessories to Target, not sponsored, by the way.
Hardcore not sponsored.
Here's the thing. At Target, when you were doing that, was there a credit card slip that said tip on it? Or did he just hand you some cash as a thank you?
No, the only tip option that they had was fucking cash back, and you hope that they give it to you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's not, but that's still an option in case they needed cash back. That's not
right.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
we're asking you. We're low key asking you to tip us.
Right. That's where the tip line comes
That's
in.
the
I feel
difference.
like when I see that, I feel like I have to do it almost. Because,
Exactly,
like,
and that's why they
working in
do
the
it,
service
because you
industry.
feel that way.
Yes.
That is why. That is the why.
Guess what? They're fucking winning, okay? Because I do it like every goddamn time.
Hold on, though. So when I was at Best Buy, like, okay, so we weren't supposed to take tips. That was actually a fireable offense. If somebody came in and like fucking like pressed you about taking a tip, so if they try to give you a tip, you're like, no, look, I can't accept it. And they're like, no, you're tip. You're like, no, listen, I really can't accept it. And they were like, yo, you're gonna take the tip. Okay, number one, you got to keep the customer happy. Okay, that's got to happen. Number two, you were supposed to turn them motherfuckers in.
What?
If you had a cool ass management staff, you might get to keep them bitches. But for the most part, they would put them back into like petty cash for the store, like parties and this, that, and the other. Now, on the other hand, Brennan and Jeff can both relate to this because they knew me when I was in the vape industry. So I ran one of the more busy vape shops in the Marietta area, and we had a tip jar. But at the same time, my job was to stand behind the counter and vape. So I walk into fucking somebody else's shop and I fucking grab the receipt and it says tip. I'm like, tip the dick, bitch. You ain't getting shit. You get paid to sit here and puff on fucking clouds and fuck off with your friends and build your fucking mod and fucking
literally have an
Dude, I'm the
N64
coolest.
across the room, okay?
Right,
bro.
right.
Like, you got a lounge that you sit on for 4 hours a day.
Waiting
Fuck
for someone to
no.
walk in the door.
fuck you.
Yeah, like, no,
Right,
dude.
come
No,
on,
no,
man.
no.
I ain't with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, but I've got to admit, one of the best ways for me to go to a place where you generally wouldn't like expect to have a tip jar is the kinds of places that you'll go where they have like 3 different tip jars, where it's like you've got like a picture of a rare steak, a medium rare steak, and then a well done steak or something like that, and you like put them in, and you're like whichever one like Like, so you'd have like, 3 different tip jars. You'd have 3 different things. Like generally you've got like steaks or like Jesus and Satan and like stuff like that, and it's like whoever puts like, you put your money into whatever your preference is. It's like, I'll always throw $1 into that medium rare jar. Master race, baby.
you give them whatever you
Imagine
feel
getting
like
well
they
done in
deserve,
2020,
and then you
dude.
give them this.
Yeah, that
This one
well
right
done
here.
steak comes out of the Q wave at McDonald's.
Bro, with the cockroaches and the rats, I'll let your boy.
After it gets there, right out the lab.
the way-
Fucking lab grown.
Just
By the way,
imagine.
rats will cook in the Q wave. Cockroaches won't. I don't know what the fucking difference is.
That's good to know. But so, all right. So I wanna open up the concept of continuity in here. Mr. Evo, can you go ahead and give us your rundown of your opinion of the Impossible Whopper?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so last week we had, for anyone who did the dick move of skipping episode 2, we talked about the impossible meat, or
Damn.
what is it, Beyond Meat and
I
all
got
that stuff, and like
Impossible
the
meat.
lab, lab meat, whatever.
Lab grown meats.
Yeah, I did no research, as you guys who did listen to it remember. I said I have no idea what the fuck this is about. I'm coming in blind because I chose not to do research. So, needless to say, last week was essentially one big like chemistry class. Anyway, I did promise that the next day for lunch I would get Burger King and go get the Impossible Whopper. Well, I got it. I didn't bullshit, y'all. Check Twitter. It's there. Tweet, motherfucker.
Truth.
And I fucking
At the Buttery Fresh on Twitter.
at the Buttery Fresh on Twitter. Hype Squad fam. Dab it. And so I had it. I got home and I unwrapped everything. The Burger King that I went to, the service is great. Some of people in my community remember my experience at Burger King about not giving me the correct amount of chicken nuggets. That's another
Not a
story for another
sponsor.
time. Not a sponsor, by the way. And I had it. I unwrapped it. It looked like a Whopper. It looked like a Whopper. The meat patty was a little bit more like perfect, if that makes sense. Like it was like perfect, almost perfectly flat. Now keep in mind, I'm talking about in comparison to a normal ground beef
Hamburger
patty, right? So you know how ground beef, when you cook it, it kind of like has dimples in it, and it doesn't look 100% like, hey, I made this in Photoshop with like a art tool, right? It's not
Right.
It's not like
Copy
that.
and
Well,
pasted
this one
squares.
is. It's like flat, and then it's literally 90-degree angles off. Okay, and then it comes back around, and it's like it's just more perfect. So that was like a little weird. I was like, yo, what?
Well, it's grown in a mold, and they have like a petri dish. And
I'm aware, but when I'm buying a
But yeah, no,
fucking
I get you.
hamburger,
I wanted to look
I'm
like a
like,
hamburger.
right.
this is kind of
That's who's asked.
weird, dude. So anyway, and then before I tried the burger, or like that as a whole, I did rip off a little piece and just try it by itself. The consistency is pretty close. It's not 100%. For a fact there is a difference. Taste, it was like 85% of the taste to a normal Whopper patty. It's pretty damn close. It wasn't weird. It wasn't gross. It was just different, right? So then I had the whole thing. And honestly, I would say overall, when you have everything, like together with the bread, the lettuce, the onions, the tomato, and all that stuff, 85% like accurate compared to a normal Whopper. Which, considering this is still a pretty new fad, trend, industry, niche, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I mean, that's pretty damn close. But I would have it again. I would have it again. I'm not against that at all. I also didn't feel as bloated, but I don't know if that was because of different situations that day, or if that was just like,
Don't try
You
it
know.
from Hardee's. Hardee's has that
Don't?
same that impossible shit.
yeah, it's not good.
Horrid.
Really? Okay.
See,
Dude,
it's
it-
crazy.
Maybe I got lucky at Burger
It's
King
like
that
funky.
maybe
it's got this
maybe
weird
it was a
acidity to it.
lucky day and it was just happened to be awesome. I don't know. I mean, I want to go back so I can compare now, after like sitting on it for like a week. I want to go back and get another one this week and compare it and just see if
Do it.
maybe it was a fluke, maybe it was bad, maybe it's better another time. I don't know. It did seem like it was a little bit less, like I wasn't as full
I think
after
that
having it, but I hadn't eaten all day. I skipped breakfast. I didn't eat, since lunch the previous day. So maybe that was another factor as well. I don't know.
But being in
Yeah,
LA, maybe you should go at sorry to cut you off, this will be quick. Maybe being in LA, you should go and get like the next tier up and see if you can get like an actual like Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat burger from like a sit down joint, rather than like the BK Lounge.
Yeah, the BK Lounge, baby. I know. But I was at Target today, and they actually have like a section that's like the Beyond Beef or whatever. And I saw it at Vaughn's too. It's similar to like Kroger for you East Coasters or Publix. Oh, yeah, more like Kroger. But it's called Vaughn's, and they had a whole section in their freezer section too of like Beyond Meat, or it was like a refrigerated cooler section still. But it was it was there, and the prices seemed pretty fair considering.
terrible.
It was, I mean, it was comparable for the most part. From what I remember, I didn't study it. I did take a picture. I could look at it later, actually, but meant to send it to you guys in our private group message. I totally forgot, though. But
it's like some Jetsons shit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You go in and type in the
Overall,
fucking
I
code in
did
your damn
enjoy it, though.
Spits out a cheeseburger at you.
Yeah, especially with that thick side of onion rings, bro. Love me some BK onion rings.
Help me, Jesus.
You can get healthier meat, but you can still get the same artery clogging fuck your face onion rings. So that's the important part.
Mike, could
But I
you
want a
honest
Diet
to
Coke.
God, swear right hand up, left hand on Bible, whatever the situation is, tell me you would pass up on onion rings? From
Fuck
Burger
no.
King. Man,
Fuck no.
I knew I'd liked you.
Hell
I
wrong with
knew
you,
I
man.
liked you, buddy.
That's love, man. I can't ever say no to an onion ring. But hang on. Here's the age old question: would you take an onion ring over a mozzarella stick?
You goddamn right.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
goddamn
I think I
right.
would too. I think I
And
would.
Think
here's-
about this.
Yeah.
Now, Wookie can't attest to this because, well, maybe he can. I don't know how much time you spent in the great city of Atlanta,
Enough.
but Atlanta has this really cool place called the Varsity.
Not
Mother
familiar
of
with it.
God.
Hit
Oh,
the
shit.
Varsity.
God.
And it don't matter
Shits
what the
for
fucking
days,
case is.
bro.
You can get whatever you want. You can get cheeseburgers. You can get chili dogs. You can get chili cheeseburgers. You can get whatever the fuck you want. But you're going to pair that bitch with onion rings. Why? Because them motherfuckers are hitting
They
hard.
They in fact are hitting. Yes.
right in the butthole.
So I read something
They're
on the
fucking
old
amazing.
Reddit machine. I read something on the old Reddit machine or something like that where it was about mozzarella sticks. It's like, oh hey, would you like 8 mozzarella sticks? Like, no, sir, that is way too much. Like, oh, would you like 8 cheese sticks? Like, no, sir, that's way too much. We're like, let me get 8 mozzarella sticks as an appetizer for like the fucking 5,000 calorie meal I'm about to eat.
Yeah.
My problem with the mozzarella-
Someone declining 8 mozzarella sticks is like the whitest thing I've ever heard.
My problem with the mozzarella sticks, though, is
I
like,
got it. I don't know how to respond. Fuck, I'm
they're
done.
fucking inconsistent. See, one of our viewers is talking about cheese curds, and this is why I prefer the cheese curds over the mozzarella sticks. Because mozzarella sticks are too goddamn inconsistent. Sometimes it's literally like cold, like a stick of string cheese, fucking wrapped in some bread, and sometimes that shit is delicious, melty, stretchy, like it's supposed to be.
And thick.
But have you ever had a fucking
thick and
cheese
creamy.
curd that
Oh.
wasn't cooked all the way? Hell
Yes.
fucking no.
Yes, actually, I have. I've had some really shitty cheese curds.
Well, that's because you live in Georgia and you don't live in the Midwest. Because
You guys have Culvers down there? Is that a thing down there?
We actually
Culver's
just started
do.
getting. We just started getting them.
Yep.
Just
Yeah,
started.
dude, they just started
Oh,
popping
block,
up. and
dude.
hear
I
they
got a
bomb.
block from my house. We got one. And, oh,
Bro,
dude.
those cheese
Oh
curds
my
hit differently
God.
because they don't only have whatever cheese is supposed to be in a cheese curd normally, but they also have like they mix them, so you get like yellow,
No, they
yellow.
don't.
Cheddar. No, they do. They do.
It's actually no. It's white cheddar and yellow cheddar. It's still all cheddar cheese.
but they
though.
taste differently. White cheddar and yellow cheddar taste different.
Okay, well that's fine.
Tell me I'm wrong. Maybe my refined.
I I don't
wine
know
drinking
because I
cheese
dip
curd
I,
dip in palate.
25-year-old palate. That's
I
right.
always get the side of the Wisconsin cheddar sauce and dip them in it. So like I can't really taste the difference.
You would shut up.
Wait, you dip your cheese curds in cheese sauce?
You goddamn right.
Yeah,
Bro,
dude,
that's the
what are you talking
fattest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Bro, I'm wearing a fucking onesie, dude. Like, give me the dairy.
Hey,
Like, let's
can
go.
we talk
Season,
about
bitch.
the onesie? Can we just bring that up?
Yeah, dude. This is
Why don't you stand up and show the class?
Stand up for our
Why don't
viewers.
you stand
Like, for
up
the people that are
and
viewing
show the
right now,
class?
people that are watching this.
So you're wearing some redneck ass hat and a onesie that's an alien.
Yeah. Back up a little bit.
you are a-
back up. Like, get the whole onesie in the picture.
Man, I got wired headset on, man. I ain't back.
Yo,
up.
man, you are a bold
take it off. It ain't
motherfucker
gonna
there,
hurt
buddy.
Yep.
Hey,
So,
yo, it's great.
boy.
I love you.
It's-
I love
Yeah,
you, baby.
sorry.
I
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
you.
That's why you're my dog.
no, my wife was at the Kroger, and she was like, "Hey,
That
they've
Kroger's
got
down
these-
there yonder.
They've got these onesies, and they're on clearance for like $8, and it was like right around Halloween. So I guess these were supposed to
Time
be
out.
like cheap holiday. Hold on. They're
No,
supposed
time
to be like
out.
cheap. What?
You said Kroger and onesies, bro.
Yeah, dude.
What
Hey,
the fuck?
dude, my Kroger on fleek over here. Like, what are you talking about? So she's like, we got these $8 onesies, and they're like the cheap Halloween costume ones. And I was like, yeah, dude, for $8, you better fucking get it. And it was a little cold in my house tonight, so I said, fucking put on a onesie.
For those listening in, Mike got hit so hard with Jeff's comment about onesies being sold at Kroger that he flipped his fucking hat around.
Hold on, though. Like, hold
This
on.
is
There's more to
serious
this.
business,
There's
okay?
more to
He's
this.
got to block the sun out.
So there's more to this. So there's a Kroger in Cartersville. It's off the White Road exit. So if anybody didn't hear this listening that fucking is from Georgia, like White Road, Cartersville, there's this big ass
Yeah.
Kroger. And it's kind of like a fucking Walmart. And Kroger had a love child. There's a bar in this bitch.
I seen it.
Now I
Ooh.
expect you to be getting from fucking some onesies from that bitch.
Yeah, but the Kroger
But you
by
live
my
in
house
Canton,
is...
homeboy. Y'all ain't quite on that level yet. Like
No, my
I'm
Kroger.
confused.
So my Kroger doesn't have the bar, but it has everything else that those big Krogers have.
Really?
It literally, yeah, it's got the full
I'm
like
fucking up, man.
the full like Walmart Target section with all the dishes. You can go in there and buy like the Corel dishes and
Wow.
yeah, dude.
I don't get out enough, man. You don't invite me to your house enough, I guess. Like fucking whatever.
I'm so far away.
You don't love me
Dude,
anymore. It's okay, I
I'll tell you
understand.
what, man. There's two things that I really miss about Georgia, bro. And
Mike and Jeff, done and done.
no,
Done and done.
neither actually. Quick Trip and Public Subs, baby.
Oh,
Sir. Ooh,
Yeah,
public sub for
and you
$5.99
guys, I
for
guess,
cheese
but-
across the board like last month.
that
We were
Havana
smacking
Bowl,
them
baby.
bitches. Smacking them bitches.
Yep, and Quick Trip is the damn Oasis. It's a fucking
Dude, Quick
Oasis.
Trip is the best
QT
gas
Kitchen
station.
is hitting.
It is the best. Dude, they're hot dogs too, man. Yo, man, I'm broke as fuck. Forgot my wallet. Luckily,
Cheddar cheese
Quick Trip
dog.
has $2 for 2 thick ass hot dogs, free add-ons, and they take Apple Pay. Fuck out of here. I'm
those
done.
Fucking
Mic drop.
Costco hot dogs.
They got
though.
brats now. They got
Dude, the
man.
props are off the chain, dude.
Yeah, dude, they got
Yes.
Polish sausage now. They've got all kinds of dumb shit. The only thing they got rid of that fucking sucked, like the day they got rid of it, I wanted to walk in and just start slapping bitches because we were building QTs
What is
at
it?
the time.
I'm scared right now.
The Nashville hot taquitos.
Oh,
What?
yes.
Ooh, I'm aware of
They
those.
got rid of those?
At the Quick
I
Trips?
want to put my hands on people.
You should.
my hands off
You know
people.
what, Mike? I invite you to a campaign, sir.
Slap the fuck out of motherfuckers that got rid
We're
of shit
going
like
to
that.
Quick Trip corporate right now. Let's
Do it.
go. Come on,
Let's
catch a
go.
ride.
Hey man,
Go.
they'll probably
I
try
know
to make
people.
you pre-order them shits.
I know people.
Bitch.
Oh,
Y'all
man.
man. Much, man.
Bro, that is the one
Goddamn.
thing. I lived out in Colorado for a little bit, man. We had fucking Quick Trips out there. We had Quick Trips and we had space stations and we had Jizz and Split. I mean, come and go.
You had
Um,
Dude,
Y'all
like
also
my
had weed.
brain, like took a
also had
sec
weed.
to. What'd you
Wow.
just?
Jizz and split, bitch.
and come and go.
And they had these fucking taquitos, dude, where like, after you live in Colorado for a little bit, you tend to imbibe in some of those, things that may be legal there that aren't. And like, dude, those fucking 3 a.m. taquitos
You
and
had
the Jizz and
weed.
Split.
Ejaculate and evacuate.
The ejaculate and evacuate, baby. Yep.
Also known as the hit it and quit it. The come and
Oh
dump.
my god!
Oh my god, dude! Wow. This has been a very eventful.
This has been a great fucking episode, dude.
I've had a lot of.
This is my favorite so far. This has been
I'm glad I can be
awesome.
here for
Holy
this shit.
fuck!
Like, I really
Thank
am.
you.
I'm really glad.
And
to
Mike,
be
seriously,
here.
thank you for being here, dude.
Dude,
Like,
thank you for having me, dude. This has been a fucking ball.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like one of those crazy ass nights in my garage when we used to hang out and shit. We just, you know, added Wookiee into the situation. He would have fit in perfectly anyway, but
those nights were some of the best nights of my life, bro. Real talk. Like,
Dude, there's a lot of
seriously, when I
pictures.
lived with Jeff and like we would come over to your garage, dude, just smoke fucking chain smoking cigarettes and then eventually vapes, you know, with the mech mods and
pouring liquor,
just drink
and
beers
fucking
and drive
acting
home.
dumb.
We should not have fucking driven home, dude. This one time, boy, do I have a story for y'all.
Yes, one time. Hey,
Buckle up, Buttercup. We going for a ride. All right. So
are we going to the come and dump?
So we were at Mike's house, right? Copious alcohol. This is okay. Just
someone
to kind of
who
give you
isn't
like
Mike's
a
house.
fair spot of like the timeline here. Fireball whiskey had just come out and been a big thing,
And we had a box.
and we had a box
We had a
of
box.
750s of Fireball. So Mike in his garage where he worked on
1,500
cars.
milliliters total. It's 2 750s in one box.
It was we were ready to go. We were ready to go. Okay, he had a little fridge in it, if I remember correctly, right? You had a fridge in your garage, right?
Mhm. We had the
And
mini
it-
fridge in the garage.
and it
so
had-
we only held
yeah, so
beer.
you opened it up and
Only
it was
anything other than liquor and beer.
Done. And so Jeff and I, every time we went over there, we usually brought over the champagne of beers. High life, right? I mean,
True.
do you even know, bro? Do you even know
A
who
man
the
of
fuck
fine
we are?
tastes, I see.
No.
Champagne.
Cheap dates.
Hype Squad fam. Hype Squad fam. So we went over there, and one night we got a little. You know, we usually got pretty toasty over there, and you know, we're sitting in Mike's garage. We had a party, dude. I mean, the garage is fogged the fuck up just from sheer cigarette smoke, vape, all of it, both. I don't know. And Mike gets the Fireball. Jeff and I, we don't really drink liquor, dude. At the time, like I only drink liquor for the most part now, but at the time, like it was just beer, and we already had probably a good 7-8 beers, you know, each at this time.
Possible.
Get the Fireball. We started
At least.
downing shots.
Possible.
We keep hanging out a couple more hours. Jeff and I are fucking falling on each other. Okay, well, I am. Jeff can kind of just.
Dude, I don't
He
know
can still
what it is.
operate. I don't know
I don't know
how.
what
For
it
me,
is.
I'm like, yeah, well, this way over. Tripping on my fucking cankles, you know. And we get in the car and drive home. And what happens, Jeff?
So we get pulled over, right?
Time out. Hey, before you go that far, can we talk about the fact that like that nights we were all on the level of no out there. I don't know what's going on, but the police get called to my house.
I
Oh,
forgot about
that's
that.
right.
I totally forgot about that, actually.
And Jeff
right.
goes and answers the fucking police that pulls up, talking about some. Hey, look, I'm a cop. It's okay. I got this under control.
And he left. He was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah,
No big
he
deal."
left, and then y'all left shortly after. Not a good idea.
Okay, so anyway, so we get pulled over, and I know damn well that I'm gonna roll down this window, and whenever, like when I was, you know, on the job, anytime I got pulled over,
On
I
the
would
job.
always roll down the windows and I would put my hands out the window because out of respect, this is just another pro tip from Splice. They would usually come up and they would be like, why are you putting your hands out the window? And I'd be like, oh, well, you know, crazy shit happens at traffic stops. I want you to feel comfortable walking up to the. But I know that I'm about to roll down this window and we are about to smell like a liquor store up in this. So this guy comes up, talks about me going too fast or whatever. I don't honestly remember if it was too fast or my lights weren't on or who knows. It's probably all
I
the
don't
above.
remember. Yeah.
But so I literally get my wallet out to give him my ID. He sees my badge wallet and he goes, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Oh, just like right over there."
Just right over there.
And you know, over here in Kennesaw, I told him the name of the neighborhood, and he goes, "All right, well, slow down and be safe going home." We roll up the window and we are busting up laughing, like in just complete disbelief. And Brendan looks at me and he goes, "That badge really works like that?" And I'm like, dude, I can't make this up. Like, you just saw this happen.
We're talking about a 20-minute ride from door to door.
Yes.
Sub 3 minutes pulling out of my driveway gets pulled the fuck over. Talking about I live just right over there.
It's like he was waiting at the end of the driveway and he was like, "There's the first car. Let's go."
Bro, this story reminds me.
This is not a short trip.
You guys know that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like driving down the street with one of his buddies and like some white guy's driving and he like gets pulled over and the cop that comes and talks to the guy is like, I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Oh man,
Oh,
those were
that's
good
good
times,
shit.
dude. Those were good times. I mean, looking back on it, I'm like, God, we were fucking.
We had a blast.
We were
dumb as
ve-
fuck. We
yeah,
did a lot
dude,
of
okay,
dumb shit.
anyone listening to this,
not
do
recommended.
not do what we did. Okay,
No.
we are not condoning that.
We're fucking
Or-
do it and just live up
What's
the
condoning mean? Is that like we support this because we don't support it? Okay, we don't support it. Let's go with that. Don't be a dumbass.
Let us
Okay,
make
don't
our
risk your
mistakes
life
for you.
and everyone else
Or
you
anybody
care about,
else's.
or
If it's
anybody
just your
else is on
life-
the road.
Because
If
I
it's just your
shouldn't
life,
be
that's
here.
fine. But if it's anybody else's, like, chill out, man.
Don't
Right,
do
right,
that.
right,
We're just
right.
telling stories. Don't be like us. Be like us in every other like facet of who we are because we're collectively like kind of like celestial deities of awesomeness. Okay,
Start
but
a podcast, quit streaming.
yeah, dude, fucking.
Start a
Yo,
pass.
I'm 30 unemployed and I'm on a podcast. We made it, boys.
Living
Okay,
Start a
We
podcast,
fucking
quit
made
drinking and
it.
driving.
Hype squad fam.
Yeah.
Hi,
yeah.
Scott Fam Dab.
But however, so I'll give my fireball story because this is bound to come up at one time, man, and it's a quick one. But the last time you can ask whatever questions you'd like, but the last time I drank Fireball, I think the last time I drank Fireball, I broke 4 ribs and ruined a jacket.
Ouch, man. What the fuck?
Man,
I
I
need to
mean,
know
I
what
can deal with the
happened.
broken ribs, but the jacket, fuck.
It was a brand new jacket, so I'm a snowboarder.
Even worse.
Yeah, I was a snowboarder, and so we were like, taking some Hollywood laps, which for those uninitiated, Hollywood laps are the laps that you take. If you're relatively good, if you can, do some fancy stuff in the air. I'm not going to bore you guys with technical names or anything like that because they're all fucking stupid. Do a sweet roast beef, which is an actual trick name. But anyway, so you like Hollywood laps or when you ride your snowboard or your skis underneath the ski lift, and you just like do some saucy shit, and you wait for somebody down the ski lift to go, oh, and that's how you made it. Like that's what it is. So where I used to live, I lived in Steamboat Springs, and there was a super pipe, which is a giant half pipe made out of snow. The walls are about 15 feet high. Right. And if you're cooking, dude, I mean, you could get yourself 15, 20 feet in the air out of this thing. Right.
Damn.
And so we're taking some
Sounds scary.
Yeah. So we're taking some Hollywood laps, and, me being the responsible adult that I was with my totally legal ID at that time, I had a 750 of Fireball inside of my jacket pocket. It was about
on the super pipe.
yeah,
Sounds
on a
like
super
a
pipe.
spicy time.
But here's the
I
other
don't
kicker.
feel so bad about my decisions.
I had
Yeah,
about
right?
8 cans of Coors Light on me at the same time too.
Oh,
So you can
Jesus
imagine
Christ.
how much my jacket weighed at
Dude,
the time.
how did you launch 15 feet in the air with all that extra weight?
You
That's
get
some
that
Charlie
momentum.
Kelly shit right there,
But-
bro. Hold on one sec, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to cough that one out really
Yeah.
quick. So we're taking some Hollywood laps, and I go up and I do a quick little spinny boy, and I overshoot that shit because we're about like 75% of the way of that bottle deep, and depth perception is not quite what it used to be at that time. And so I launch this shit up, dude, and I land on the coping, which for those who don't know, that is the point where the lip of the half pipe meets the like flat part essentially. And I hit the coping of that directly on my ribs. The bottle shattered. I broke 4 ribs, and yeah.
Oh
my god, that's the story of that. Yeah, it's my favorite jacket too.
Dude,
I was more
that
upset about the
is
jacket than anything
serious.
else.
Are you fucking what? Are you?
Yeah. Well, they're broken ribs. What the fuck are they gonna do about it? They give you a couple ibuprofen and send you home.
Yeah.
It's true. True story.
Boy,
Like that's it.
that's
breaking.
intense.
Dude, ribs and collarbones are like some of the worst breaks that you can get because you can't do
You can't
shit
do
about it.
anything.
Yeah,
And,
you can't
like,
do anything.
It
Right,
hurts
like
to
they'll give you a
breathe.
bottle of
Not a
Vicodin,
damn
but like
thing.
you don't
I've
wanna
never
take
had
that
a broken
shit.
bone, so I don't know what it feels like. But
Oh,
just the
man.
thought of that is painful enough.
You're
I've
lucky.
broken everything and nothing.
No, I'm
in
just
my body,
inactive,
dude.
Jeff. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Wow.
I play DBD.
Yeah, bro. Why are you
I
so
broke
sweaty?
my
I was
wrist
watching
trying
Cops.
to juke on Dead by Daylight.
But then I tripped and I fell.
Oh,
Now I'm on. Damn.
Oh man.
Shit.
But hey, we're gonna be about that time. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, thank you for being here, man. We really appreciate your presence. I
Absolutely.
apologize for everybody that, like I said today, my name is Doris and I've been smoking Reds for 75 years.
My name
You know,
is
and so
Martin.
from that angle, I apologize if any coughs, if any sneezes, if any of my mucus may end up near your ear holes at this point.
If
and if
any
it
of
did,
my
I
mucus is
apologize.
your ear
You know?
holes.
Dude, there
But-
is
I love it.
no need to apologize, bro.
But-
Seriously.
No, not
Thank
at
you
all.
guys for being here. I love you all. Mike and
Absolutely.
Mike, we hope to have you on
Aw.
again soon, man.
Dude, I'm
Jeff,
sure
thank
I'll be
you for-
back.
Jeff,
I had a
thank you
fucking
for
absolute
saving my
blast.
intro.
Like I said, it was like a fucking it was like a rewind to not all that fucking long ago. Jeff and Brent at the same time, and obviously we've talked a few times through Twitch, Discord, and everything in between. But this is literally like a rewind, man. This was a
Dude,
blast.
yeah, this was like. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, dude, this is like flashing back. Like,
It is. It is big
6
time.
No,
Absolutely.
longer than 6 because I've been with my
Longer.
wife 6-7 years, so about 8-9 years ago, dude.
Yeah, I've been in my house almost. I've been in my house almost 11 years. Actually, 11 years in October, so it'll be 12 years this year. But so 11 years in October, and I met Jeff shortly after I moved into here, which I knew you before, obviously, because of Nick and a few other people that we know commonly. But we started hanging out within about a year. Actually, because the first Super Bowl I was in my house. Or not first Super Bowl, the first football season I was in my house. I was supposed to come over and watch a game at Jeff's, and I remember I didn't make it over there, and it's kind of a good thing because he fucking kind of raged out because Green Bay sucks.
Oh damn,
Blew it.
the
Damn.
jabs, dude. The fucking
So,
jabs.
so I was kind of
God
glad I didn't make it
bless.
over there, but you know, obviously we all ended up hanging out, and it's kind of been fucking history in the making sense. So
Yeah. No, it's been great. But we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to the listeners out there. We will actually be
Absolutely.
recording another episode on Thursday. We've got a super special guest coming in on Thursday. So go ahead and remember to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube, check out our Podbean, and that way you can stay updated with everything. And we will
And the Discord.
and the Discord. Join the Discord.
And the Discord, and as an
Y'all-
extension
Absolutely.
of everything else as well. This week's going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually have 3 episodes going live. So on Thursday we're going to be doing one as well. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then on Saturday we're going to be doing another one at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Both of the guests that we're getting, you're more than welcome to find them on our Twitter page. We're not going to disclose too much details about it, just because. I mean, the 3 of us are personally super excited to be able to do it.
Yes. Yes.
and
absolutely.
I'm
will
still
tell you-
fangirling a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm personally excited. I'm not
gonna
even gonna
lie.
be here for it. Like I'll be watching it.
I
Yes.
will,
Dude, I
No,
just want to see your ass in chat, bro. That's all.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
I will
Yeah.
tell you guys, you don't want to miss it. We're gonna
Do
have
not.
one of, in my opinion, the greatest fucking voices on the planet from the male spectrum, and then on Sunday from the female end of the spectrum. And
It's gonna be
it's
big
gonna
pogs.
be fantastic.
Yes, sir. Fucking
We're
right.
not really able to say what's gonna happen. We're not able to give you guys any expectations, but what I will say is you're not gonna want to fucking miss it.
Don't miss
you're
that
really
shit,
not.
bitch.
Fuck yeah. So we will see y'all in 2 days later.
Yes, sir. Later.
Adios.
Peace.
See y'all.
Mm-hmm.